Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Wendy.
I'm Cooper.
And this is Flickin' Beans. Thank you so much for joining us. This is my bestie for the last 20 years, is gracing our home state with her presence temporarily. So I stole her away to do a podcast.
Yeah.
We haven't done this in a couple years, but you are a recurring co-host of Flickin' Beans.
Yes.
We've both grown a lot since then.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, you're my bestie. That's how I know you. But you also are the co-founder of Nomadic Influence, which is a platform that bridges the gaps between content creators and the businesses that support them. So while you're here, you want to tell people a little bit about that? Plug yourself.
Absolutely. So Nomadic Influence is exactly what Wendy says. We're a platform. We designed it for the outdoor travel hospitality industry, which started at campgrounds and has expanded. And we've been doing it for 3 years. We have a group of over 100 creators. Wendy is one of our amazing musical talent creators. She does so much more too. And I think that's a big highlight of what Nomadic is about, because even inside the content world, people have a lot of different skills, and we leverage that to help small business and private business owners learn how to be able to support themselves as well as the community around them. So, crazy journey. And Wendy's been in the background and helping support in any way, the way she does so well. So I'm glad that we can hang out and do this.
Yeah. And then, when you start businesses with your friends, then you can write everything off as a tax.
Exactly. It's all a business expense.
What is in your cup this morning?
I am drinking a mocha protein smoothie from Tropical Smoothie.
Ooh.
Speaking of growing up, last time we did this, I was probably half in the bag.
Yeah, last time we were in Texas, it was your birthday, and we were drinking bourbon and coffee after being at the beach, I think, all day. And I was actually surprised how well that one turned out, because I'm like, I haven't done the podcast drunk before. I don't know how meandering it's going to be, but it turned out really good, actually. So.
Well, I think it's all those years of us just being drunk together. Yeah. So we've been well practiced.
That's right. Exactly. We are both GLP-1 girlies. And so I also made protein coffee this morning, just with cold brew that I make myself and whey protein and the famous Cinnabon.
Which was delicious, by the way. You're going to have to give that recipe because
it's so good. It's literally just that. Coffee, unflavored whey protein. It's Cinnabon brand coffee creamer. So I guess we can get into the movie now. I let the co-host pick the movie, and this one surprised me that
I was so shocked you haven't seen this.
I just wasn't even on my radar. I don't even know if I knew that it happened.
It's an Emma Stone movie, which I'm just a huge Emma Stone fan anyway.
Yeah, we are big Emma Stone fans on this podcast. We've watched a lot of movies with her in it, and more recently, some of her weird ass shit, like Poor Things and Begonia, which you watch Begonia. That one is crazy. Yeah, so Cruella 2021. It's currently streaming on Disney and probably Hulu and HBO too, because they're basically all the same now. Whenever those are going to merge, I'm going to be a happy gal because I'm annoyed. I can never remember which one I'm watching stuff on.
Yeah.
So you start a series and you're like, it's on all three of them, but it only remembers what episode you're on one.
Yes. Yeah.
So third world problems for this podcast. General synopsis of this is that it's the backstory for Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. So what made you decide you wanted to do this for the podcast?
Because I love it.
Yeah.
It is again, this whole thing around taking villains and actually humanizing them. Kind of on the fence on whether this is good or bad. Doesn't matter. That's not the point of this. I do like Cruella's character. I've always loved her character. Just that crazy woman that you can tell has probably been through a lot of shit in her life. How did she go that crazy? So to see a backstory for Cruella is just cool. It's just one. I mean, I loved Dalmatians growing up. I'm a big dog person anyway. But then the way that they did it so well. The soundtrack is amazing. They did use dogs that were clearly CGI.
Yeah, the CGI is not great.
But it played into the movie and it was quirky and it worked. So I didn't hate it. I actually maybe kind of just liked the fact they were kind of a little unrealistic in that way. But the costumes and her outfits, I mean, it's legit. The designer who did that is should get a freaking Nobel Peace Prize or something because it's amazing. But that's the point. It's like that this inner conflict that am I a good person? Am I not battling? Where is this coming from? And then just the beauty and oh God, it's such a great movie.
It is an absolutely gorgeous movie. I will agree with you. And I love that they decided to set it in the 70s because they really could have set it anywhere, I think, because the 101 Dalmatians is sort of not, you don't know what time that happens in. But the fact that they set it in the 70s, they had such a cool 70s soundtrack. And the fashion was that very 70s vibe, which I love. I think I was born in the wrong era sometimes. Like I would have fit in well there.
Yeah.
So I loved all of that. And a lot of the cinematography.
Cinnamon. It's because you're drinking the cinnamon coffee.
Yeah. That's one of those things that I pronounce wrong on purpose all the time. And then I start doing it when I should be pronouncing it correctly. Anyway, cinematographer. Like in particular, there's a scene when she first gets the job at the fashion house, and it's a single shot, and it's playing 70s music, and it's going through like from the top of the building where it's all the fashion, and then down a couple staircases back all the way into this dark hallway, and she's scrubbing the toilet.
Yeah.
And that one single shot, just knowing like from my limited content creation filming experience, is really hard to pull off.
Right?
And because I'm a film nerd and I took film classes in college, I know that the first movie to ever do that was Citizen Kane. Mm-hmm. And so it was like nostalgic for me too, because this is a little bit noir as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And, because it's a villain origin story. One of the things that I'm always bringing up on this podcast is that we don't get the villain origin story so many times.
Yeah.
And that person didn't just come out of the womb that way. Some shit happened to them to get them that way, or they need like some motivation to be evil, and we don't always get that. Mm-hmm. This is all that movie's about.
Mm-hmm. And by the end of it, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, not saying it's totally feeds into the animated movie, mm-hmm. but you actually follow her character along on figuring out who she is. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not even that the backstory is her finding out who she is and the fact that she is coming from nothing and she had to fight her own mother to get over it, which was a crazy story.
Twist ending that, you kind of wonder like what's going on with that because they allude to it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so essentially Cruella comes out of the womb and half her head is black and half her head is white, and I love that that's how she's born.
Yeah,
because I obviously assumed that either she went gray that way or that it was a dye job, that she dyed it black and white because that's what she likes. But no, that's her actual natural hair color.
Yeah.
So the baby comes out black and white, and I thought that was so cool.
Well, her mother basically rejects her from the very good. Her mom is also a fashion designer. Mm-hmm. Her mom is also it's very much was Devil's Wear Prada to me too.
Oh yeah,
that, like vibe to it, where she is just a focused on her career woman, and doesn't care about the norms of life, like having a kid or a husband or anything like that. Other than it's expected,
right?
But when Cruella is actually born and she comes out with weird, quote unquote, because she has 2 different color hair, well, then her mom's just like, get rid of the kid. And they think that she thinks she's telling him to like kill the kid. Butler, assistant. They don't really like exactly say their relationship, but he's clearly like her right-hand man. Basically smuggles the baby off with a housemaid that's super sweet and is basically supposed to take care of her. So she comes from a line of fashion, like a fashion mogul, a woman who's very career driven, and then but she doesn't know that.
Yeah. When we're talking about we're talking about, just to be clear, the Baroness.
Yes.
Who is also the owner of this fashion house. Mm-hmm. She has her own line, even though she doesn't make any of her own designs, but that's a different discussion. But yeah, so you don't know that she's her mom in the beginning because she's raised by an employee of this house of the Baron and Baroness.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know what that was, so I had to look up. A Baron or a Baroness is the lowest form of royalty you can be.
Yeah.
So it's like you're royalty, but only kind of.
Yeah. Like you're kind of the the step family.
I wonder if she has a complex about being the lowest of the rung of royalty. She gets raised by who she thinks, or Cruella gets raised by who she thinks is her mom, which is just like a housemaid in this mansion. And when Cruella gets in trouble in school, gets evicted, and they have to move to London, her mom makes a stop to talk to a friend, in quotes, and they stop at the Baron's mansion. And when they're talking, I'm thinking that maybe Cruella is the Baron's, and that like she slept with the Baron and had a wedlock. That's where I thought the movie was going.
Oh, okay.
But then later you find out, actually, no, the Baroness was her mom. So the Baron is her dad.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Anyway,
she's technically born into royalty.
Yes, she's the heir.
The heir, and I think they kind of allude to the fact that the Baroness then tells her husband, the Baron, that the kid died in childbirth. So he basically gets so grief-stricken, he ends up dying soon too, thinking that his child that he wanted is gone. And then she has his fortune and her empire and everything she wants, and thinks her kid's dead. Yeah. But she's not, and she's growing up learning to be a thief. Yeah.
So before she gets evicted, she's already a troublemaker. She's got a bad streak. Her mom nicknames her Cruella.
Yes.
That's the foreshadowing.
And that's kind of, they play it like she has two personalities. They really like her adopted mom, whatever, kind of, even as she's a child, anytime she gets angry and she has these negative emotions, that's Cruella talking. We need to tell Cruella that she's okay. She doesn't need her today. Or I can't remember what her saying was, like, thank you very much, but I can do this on my own.
Yeah, something like that.
She had to tell herself to like shut Cruella down and then be Estella was what they named her. And then so you just see her growing up. Then, her adopted mom shows up to the Baroness to get, you're assuming, money, asking her for money to get on their feet. Of course, there's this whole thing, but the Baroness ends up killing her mother, shoving her over a wall into the depths of this ocean, and she's dead. And
she actually calls her dogs, her Dalmatian dogs, and they push her into the ocean. And Cruella thinks that she's at fault because the dogs are chasing her. But then we find out that's not the case.
Yes.
And that the Baroness had a dog whistle.
Yeah, and called the dogs on her. But she, of course, in a scramble, runs and gets smuggled away in like a trash truck or something. I don't know what it was. And finds herself on the streets of London with now no mom, no money, no nothing. And she's a kid. Like, she looks like she's like 10, 12. I don't know.
Yeah, she's young. Not even a teenager yet.
No.
And these little also orphans, I assume. You never see any of their family. And they also recognize right away that Estella doesn't have family, because like recognizes like. And that character, well, not the boy, but when they grow up to be adults, did you recognize that actor?
Which ones?
There's Jasper.
Jasper is
he's in Game of Thrones.
Yes, you're right.
The actor's name is Joel Fry, and he was in Game of Thrones. He was the guy from Marine who wanted to marry Daenerys and wanted to reopen the fighting pits. I cannot remember his character's name right now, but I was trying to figure that out for the longest time. Like, I know this guy. I've seen him before. I thought maybe as another big Game of Thrones fan, you might have recognized that too.
Yeah, but I also there were so few other things I recognized. He's been in a few things.
He's been in a lot of stuff, and also in a lot of animated stuff.
Yes.
When I was looking it up, so if you might recognize his voice. But yeah, Jasper's one of the orphan boys, and the other one, Horace. Yes, I didn't look up Horace. Sorry, Horace. You didn't look familiar to me.
And then they have their dogs.
Yeah, I love the dogs. Wink's the best.
Winks is my favorite.
Wink is a little chihuahua that only has one eye.
Yes, and he does have an eye patch. It's the cutest thing.
And he saves their ass several times.
Yes, but as they grow up together, and you, speaking of the cinematography of it too, there's the way that they tell the storyline so quickly. Like you have the situation where she's running from, they're trying to go to London, and her mom dies, and then she runs away. She meets the two boys and the family. And then there's this quick clip of like, as they're growing up really fast, she kind of builds the storyline of she used her fashion sense to start making costumes and then learning how to steal. And they were pickpockets, and they would basically play these roles where they were either fancy aristocrats, or maybe they were housekeepers, or maybe they were cleaning crew, or maybe they worked in a, and she would make the outfits and then they would play these roles so that they could steal money from rich people. And they do this really quick, like you see the different outfits, but at the same time you watch them pickpocket, and in a matter of 30 seconds, you see a whole storyline of them from when they're kids and they meet to now they're like early adults. And you have a very good sense of their relationship, their family dynamic, and how they work together. But that was just great directing and cinematography. And I love that. They just do such a good job.
They did do a good job of that. I wish they would have done some more of that because it got a little long. I remember, like, I didn't feel bored watching it, but I do remember pausing it to go pee and thinking, oh, that has to be close to the end. No, there's 40 more minutes. It's like 2.5 hours long. So it's not like crazy long, but it's a little longer.
It's a longer movie.
But they go through a lot of backstory because you need to understand where Cruella came from, and they have to do lots of cool outfits.
Yeah. Well, but I love the fact that then she gets in and starts working for the Baroness. And she's not only designing clothes for her, but she's like the top designer. Story arc is in they're doing all this pickpocketing stuff, and that's how they're making their living, but yet she still wants to work in design. So she starts working for the Baroness like store front, like their mall, and she's just cleaning the floors, like you said. She gets drunk one night and redesigns this window, and it gets so much attention that the Baroness actually gives her a job to do fashion. And so she starts working for the Baroness, and it becomes one of Baroness like top designers. So she's working and quickly gets into the fashion industry through that. And that's how kind of the story continues to unfold on how she finds out that she's her mother and so on. This is what I thought things got really cool, because seeing her actually start designing some of these clothes, and then when she starts battling with the Baroness and pretends to be Cruella, and all these designs come out, and then that just gets so entertaining.
Yeah, she keeps crashing because the Baroness loves to throw a ball.
Yes.
Loves to throw a theme ball, and she gets really mad if you get off theme. Like the journalist at the white and black party, her blue pen exploded in her purse.
Yes.
And the Baroness made her throw her purse out. She just tossed it like nothing, no color.
Yeah.
And then, and then of course Cruella shows up in a flammable dress. Reminded me of Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, I was just going to say.
And
Katniss
turns red
in
the sea of black and white. But yeah, there's so many cool things. I think my favorite is the when she shows up in the garbage truck.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And it's just like trash, but it's beautifully stitched together into this crazy. Yes.
It looks like they're just dumping trash of all these dirty dresses. And then Cruella tumbles out, jumps on the back of the garbage truck, and then you see that it's a train of all these gowns sewed together. And once she pulls it out, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's no longer a pile of garbage. That's so cool. Such a metaphor, too, for her storyline, I think, of being able to put stuff together from nothing.
Yes. And make it beautiful and make it tell a story and be artistic. And speaking of telling the story, you kind of rushed over it, which I thought was the best. Her relationship with the journalist.
Oh, yeah.
Which is basically her tapping into, speaking of new versus old, because that's a big part of the storyline too, is the Baroness is kind of the old news and she's kind of the new news, and that's what they're arguing over. She started tapping into journalism and having her write the story, or giving her tips on where the next thing's going to be and what she's going to be doing, so she could tell her story in the news the way she wanted it told, instead of just waiting. So her tapping into social media content creation.
Yeah.
I mean, the 70s, it was like news. It was like but still,
It's
same.
It's PR.
It's PR. Yeah. And she recognized early on. And there's a conversation where she goes into her office and sits across from her desk at the paper.
Yeah.
And says, just literally says, so let me get this straight. You go to events and you write stories on the people that are there. And she goes, basically, and do you have a problem? And she goes, no, I find it useful. And she's right. It's useful. If you go to those creators or you go to those people that are writing that content, that have that voice, and then you help tip them off or give them pointers on how to write the story, now you've controlled the narrative, which is, again, me being nomadic.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. You work with the creators, you work with the people that have the voice, that have the audience, so that you can promote your business the way, or your own brand the way that you want to.
Yeah, it was sort of a very Spider-Man, Peter Parker, like tipping off the journalist, and Cruella's kind of the mysterious superhero, because nobody, even though she doesn't hide her identity that well. No. So I can't believe that nobody figures out she's Estella before that, but Cruella's just this alter ego, but all she ever does is have like half a mask.
Yeah.
Like everybody can tell it's you. I mean, come on. But
everybody's too busy looking at the costumes, though.
Yeah.
They definitely made some statements.
I just thought it took way too long for the Baroness to figure it out. But maybe she's not really that smart. She's just mean.
I don't know. I kind of got the feeling that she had her hunches throughout the whole thing. She was just waiting for something a little bit more obvious, or like exact proof or evidence that would, and I think she leaned on her right-hand man. I can't remember what his name was, but to kind of, and of course he was the one that he knew right away.
Yeah.
He knew right away and was trying to kind of neutralize the situation or play. So I think she thought was on her side was not.
Yeah.
But obviously she lost his loyalty a long time ago when she put him in a position to like supposedly kill off her kid.
Yeah. He's like, when you said take care of it, what do you expect me to do? Kill your child? Yeah. And then the Baroness is like, I thought we had an understanding. Yeah, I thought like, yes.
Like, duh. I needed to spell it out to you. She was very matter of fact about it.
Like, oh, okay. Cruella went through some shit.
She did.
And she loses herself a few times and eventually just decides
to own Cruella, be her.
I wonder, though, we don't get a lot of after she decides that she kills off Estelle and all that. Is she going to be an ass to Jasper and Horace the rest of their lives? Because she's really mean to them for a while, but then she softens and you're like, I don't know, but they seem to be loyal to her no matter what.
Yeah.
I hope that, we know she goes on to be a dick later and want to kill some dogs. But...
yeah, she does completely go. Technically in the animation, if we follow that.
Well, there
is a second one coming out. I am so excited.
I saw that. I thought it was already out. I guess I didn't realize that.
Not yet.
It's coming. Okay, so we'll get more of that story then.
Yeah.
Of poor Jasper and Horace. I feel like they were kind of hinting that there might be something romantic between Jasper and Cruella.
Really?
Yeah, he just had their relationships seemed to be a little bit closer than her and Horace in a lot of ways. And I don't know if that's just their friendship, but it kind of seemed to me like Jasper was in love with her. The way that he talked about her and catered to her.
Woo-hoo! Coffee break! Let's talk about our beans.
Are you enjoying Flickin' Beans? Don't keep it to yourself. Spill the beans. Movies are better shared, and so is coffee. Can you drop our pod into a friend's inbox, a group chat, or just tell that cashier at your coffee shop that you love our podcast? A little word of mouth goes a long way. Let's spill the beans. Thank you, Bean Flickers. Love you. Bye.
You know what? I've seen that movie like, I don't know, 8 or 10 times now. I literally never thought about it.
Really?
Like I don't know. I was so taken in with the focus on, everything else. I kind of thought a love story with her just seemed like that was not, the love needed to be more about having a family than a romantic relationship. So I had never thought about that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go that direction, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in the
I
second
know,
one.
but I just don't feel like it's necessary.
I don't either. I hate it when they force a romantic.
They just
when they don't
there's
need
no need it. Like let a woman fucking be strong without having to have some man to fucking have a romantic relationship with.
Yeah.
Like just
Absolutely.
let that be part of her story.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about the very last design that she made, just because that part is so cool. How she finally kind of gets back at the Baroness. She makes a design for her collection, and it's like the star design. What do they call it? The signature piece.
The signature piece,
and it's
yes.
beautiful. And she spends all night hand beating it, and she gets in this crate of like millions of beads. It's so beautiful. And the Baroness doesn't want anyone to see it ahead of time or steal it, so she locks it in her safe.
Well, she locks it in her safe because Jasper, Horace, and Cruella stage a quote-unquote robbery, a fake one. They purposely do it so that it sends off the security alarms, which means then they have to that their protocol is to move all of the merchandise into this big safe, lock it in there until the fashion show that they were having, and so that way it could be contained and nobody. So they do it purposely because the safe then becomes an incubator.
Yeah.
And the beads that she hand stitched onto the dress are actually like cocoons and of these moths. And when the temperature in this safe, all the dresses and all of the things for the fashion show get warm, they all hatch and then they eat all of the fabric on all of the dresses. So then the day of the fashion show comes and they open this safe and all of these moths just come flying out at them and all of the dresses are destroyed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, brilliant.
So brilliant. And another very beautifully shot scene too. And the Baroness, I love how she played it. She didn't even flinch. She just stood there so stoic. No emotion, even though you can tell she
People
must be
screaming around her. They're getting attacked by moths, like everything, and she just stands there, and you can I think a moth gets on her shoulder, and she just
dust, like it's dust, just blows it off. And I was like, oh man, that's why you should get scared of a woman. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
when they just go quiet and blank. I know it for me anyway. That's when you really should be scared.
There is no coming back from that moment. I will tell you from personal experience. When that happens, it's done.
Yeah.
Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson, right? Yes.
Yes. Okay. And Mark Strong is they call him the valet, is what they listed him on the cast.
Interesting.
That we're like, is he a butler? Because he seems like her bodyguard /
he's
business assistant.
It's almost like he's, her advisor.
Yeah.
Like back to Game of Thrones, because she's royalty. Like he's sort of like the hand of the king.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
That's what it seems like. But valet seems weird.
That's what.
But okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Horace is Paul Walter Hoser. I don't know. Nothing pops out at me. He's done some voiceover stuff. I see him in Inside Out and some of these other movies I don't really know. But LA. Okay. But yeah, Emma Thompson
she did great.
She did.
I liked her in this role. She was very mean. I just kept thinking, and I know that this is true in real life as well, that she never actually designed anything. We never see any of the Baroness's actual work.
No.
Was she ever actually a designer, or she just has gotten so far removed from it now? I don't know. Or is she just inherited it, the fashion house, but she takes credit for everything. And she calls it her collection as if she designed it, but really she has 30 designers making stuff for her around the clock.
Yeah.
And she's just the person that gets to decide what's good or not.
Yeah. And she's super strict.
Yeah.
And unforgiving. She has this reputation, you can tell, of very much everybody just wants to be working for her, under her, get that on her resume. But she's a hard ass. She literally the first day cut a Stella with a knife, just slicing and dicing her design
Mm-hmm.
and didn't even bat an eye. Instead, she grabs her arm and says, change it to the blood color instead of this green. Like, she did not care that she just sliced her employee with a knife.
Right.
Because it was all about the design.
Zero fucks. And she's of the mind that you need to be cruel to be great. It seems like she tells Cruella at one point that she shouldn't apologize or say thank you because gratitude is a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude is for losers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she tells Estella because Estella thanks her for something and she goes, gratitude is for losers. Then Estella stops thanking her family for doing stuff for her and it's not good.
Yeah.
But it's funny how much Estella ends up becoming like the Baroness, even though she hates her. And I think partly because they're literally related, but also I think that is a human condition of wanting to get revenge. And then you end up just being the person that you're mad at.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to match their energy when you really should be doing the opposite if you hate that person.
Yeah.
But instead, she's just becoming more and more like her.
Yeah, you're putting yourself at their level in order to compete against them, and then in the same token, losing yourself.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what, that's kind of the whole storyline is.
Yeah.
She was trying to fight with and get her revenge on the Baroness. At first, I think it was more just trying to be seen by the Baroness, but then as the story starts to unfold and she starts to realize who the Baroness really is and the relationship to her, what she thought was her mother, then the revenge gets far more intense. But she loses herself and then she loses her family and all of the people that were supporting her in the process. So it is definitely very much, there's a big corporate kind of, I don't know, thing in my brain with this too, because I've seen that. I actually just did a post on LinkedIn a couple days ago that I was like, I've worked under female executives that are very high level where you can tell that they've even, through to get where they are in their life have gone through a lot and they've run by fear and they rule by, I just have this power and authority and they think that's how they have to operate in order to survive. And I think that's very much like the Baroness's character. You have to be cruel. You cannot apologize. You cannot have empathy. You need to be hardcore, cold all the time. And that's how you get respect. And that's how people work for you and you get what you want through fear. And then you find out, well, no, because at the end of it, nobody supported her. Even her own team that she thought were loyal to her weren't actually loyal because they're pretty much scared of her. And then when she needed them the most, nobody was there to help her. So, and that's kind of, I think you're supposed to just take from the end that when she kills off Estella and takes on Cruella, that she's now softened and she's going to be better. And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. It seems like she goes, to jail. Or whatever. They cuff her.
Yeah.
We think the Baroness pushes her off a cliff. That's what it looks like. Well, she does. That's true.
Yes.
We think Estella dies. But what really happens is she has turned her skirt into a parachute. And she's gliding down to meet her family at the bottom. And then the voiceover is something like, ladies, never underestimate the power of a well-tailored skirt.
Which, seriously, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's like the sum of the movie, right? I think power and fashion.
Yeah. And that it literally can go hand in hand. You can have a skirt that not only looks amazing, but also saved your life.
Yeah. Sometimes it will save your life. So did we do it?
We did it.
All right. We flick some beans. Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Party all night long.